welcome back to the deep dive. So today, we're sort of pushing back on this whole culture of disposability. We're going to focus on something really concrete. How a good childhood, with foundational values, can translate into amazing craftsmanship.
So we're looking at it through the work of Papa Joe's Collectibles.
Exactly. And I think we all feel that sense of loss, that missing hands-on grit in so much of what's made today.
It's a very real feeling. I mean, when everything is just plastic you can throw away, you lose a connection to quality. There was this philosophy that really anchored the previous generation.
What was that?
That simple belief that a man that can work with his hands will never go hungry.
Right.
And that practical knowledge, how to fix things, how to make things last, that was the real currency.
Okay, so let's unpack that through the man at the center of this, Joe. He was born in 1968, grew up on a farm in Durbinville.
And his parents were this incredible mix of influences.
An amazing synthesis. So on one hand, you have his father, Wendell, who was a veterinary surgeon.
So meticulous precision.
Absolutely. Think about operating on tiny, intricate parts of an animal. You can't make a mistake.
And then you have his late mother, Bubbles. She was the total opposite.
Complete artistic fearlessness.
Yeah.
A whirlwind of creativity, pottery, painting. She ran the farm. She just had this creative abandon.
There's that great anecdote about her.
Oh, I love this detail. Joe remembers finding her outside painting in just her bloomers and a bra.
Just to keep his clothes clean.
Exactly. And he has this wonderful, affectionate term for her. He says, Malachi, that one.
Which is such a warm Afrikaans phrase, right? It's like calling someone wonderfully eccentric.
It's perfect.
And that's the blend, You get the engineering precision from the father and the creative chaos from the mother. That's the foundation.
And you see it in his behavior so early on.
You really do. This wasn't something he was told to do. It was just in him. After his parents had parties, he'd sneak downstairs.
Unprompted as a kid.
And he'd wash all the dishes, vacuum the whole house, and then bring them tea. That's not a chore. That's a whole different level of discipline.
And that discipline, that ethic, you see it today in his workshop. He's not using some fancy new machine.
No, he's working on his grandfather's lathe, a 1976 metal Myford lathe.
The tool itself is a legacy. So when an item comes to him, he basically has 3 paths he can take with it. 3 choices.
Right.
The first one is preserve. That's for really rare antique items. He'll overhaul it, clean it, but he leaves the patina.
The story of its life.
Exactly. The second choice is restore. This is for something in a really sad state. He'll take it apart, bolt by bolt, clean everything, and put it back together so it works like new.
And then there's the third option, which is my favorite. It's revive.
This is where that creative fearlessness comes in.
Absolutely. If something is broken beyond repair, it doesn't go in the bin. It gets reborn. Wow. It might become a bespoke steampunk lamp, like the petrol head's light.
So the story continues. It gets to retire in peace, but in a new form.
But that does raise a good question.
It does. I mean, if you take a broken brass gauge and make it into a lamp, is that really continuing its story, or are you just creating a new one? Where's the line between restoration and fabrication?
That's the critical question, isn't it? And I think his argument is that throwing it away ends the story for good.
Yeah.
By reviving it, by applying skill and, crucially, effort, he transforms waste into functional art. The value comes from the work put in.
The effort itself.
Yes. Look at his process. He even makes his own cleaning solution. He calls it his muti.
A special potion.
It's a mix of sunlight liquid and citric acid, and then comes the wire brush. And as he says, the most important part, elbow grease.
So a new scratch isn't a flaw.
No, it's a proud badge of honor. That entire philosophy, it wasn't learned from a book. It was built on those values from the farm.
Precision and fearlessness.
Exactly. And the powerful lesson that value lies in the effort you are willing to put in.
Which brings us right back to the mission of Papa Joe's Collectibles. We don't sell objects. We sell revived legacies. You're buying the story and the effort.
And if durability, if that effort is the real measure of value, it really makes you stop and think, what are we making today, right now, with enough care to actually last 50 years and be worth passing down to someone?